Welcome back to Naturally His, where we explore God's natural provisions for health and wellness through a biblical lens. I'm Alicia from Heritage Havens, and today we're diving into a topic that doesn't get nearly enough attention in the herbal wellness community: herbal safety and contradictions. Now, I know that might not sound as exciting as talking about miracle herbs or ancient remedies, but friends, this might be one of the most important conversations we ever have. Because here's the truth: just because something is natural doesn't automatically mean it's safe for everyone in every situation or at every time. God created plants with incredible healing properties, but He also created them with power. And with that power comes responsibility. The responsibility of wise stewardship. Today we're going to talk about how to use herbs safely, intelligently, and in a way that honors both the gift God has given us and the bodies He's entrusted to our care. So grab your favorite herbal tea, hopefully one that's safe for you specifically, and let's dive in. Let's start with a foundational truth that I think gets lost in our modern wellness culture. We often hear the phrase, "it's all natural," used as a marketing slogan, and as if natural automatically equals harmless, and that's so not true. But that's simply not how God designed His creation. Think about it this way: poison ivy is natural, hemlock is natural, deadly nightshade is natural. God created the plant kingdom with an incredible spectrum of compounds, some that heal, some that harm, and many that do both depending on the context. This is not a design flaw, friends. This is wisdom. God placed powerful chemical compounds in plants for specific purposes. These compounds, like alkaloids, flavonoids, tannins, volatile oils, they interact with our bodies at a cellular level. They can lower your blood pressure, thin your blood, affect hormones, stimulate the immune system, and even calm the nervous system, and so much more. When we approach herbs with the mindset that they're just gentle, harmless plants, we're actually disrespecting God's design. We're treating lightly something He created with purpose and potency. Wise stewardship? It means understanding what we're working with. Now, does this mean we should be afraid of herbs? Absolutely not. Fear is not wisdom, but neither is recklessness. What God calls us to is discernment, using our minds, doing our research, and respecting the power He placed in these plants. I always tell my client, herbs are medicine. They're not less powerful than pharmaceuticals. They're differently powerful. And like any medicine, they need to be used appropriately by the right person at the right time and in the right amount. So let's talk about what happens when herbs aren't appropriate for someone. And that brings us to our first major concept, which is contraindications. So what exactly is a contraindication? Simply put, it's a situation or a condition where a particular herb should be avoided. It's when the risk outweighs the benefit. When using a herb could actually cause harm rather than healing. Let me give you some examples of common contradictions and their categories. So the first is pregnancy and nursing. This is probably the most well-known contradiction category, and for good reason. During pregnancy, a woman's body is doing the miraculous work of building another human being. Certain herbs can stimulate the uterus, and potentially it can cause contractions and even miscarriage. Others might affect hormone levels or cross the placental barrier in ways we don't fully understand yet. Even herbs that are wonderful and safe for most people might be problematic during pregnancy. Take pennyroyal, for instance. It's been traditionally used to bring on delayed menstruation. Well, that means it can also potentially induce a miscarriage. Blue cohosh, black cohosh, and several other herbs have similar concerns. In nursing, well, whatever you consume, it can potentially pass to your baby through breast milk. That sweet nursing infant has developing organ systems that aren't ready to process certain compounds. Second is specific medical conditions. This is where things get really individual. A herb that's healing for one person might be harmful for another based on their unique health situation. Let's look at licorice root as an example. Licorice has amazing benefits. It's soothing for the digestive tract. It's supportive for the adrenal glands, helpful for respiratory issues. But licorice contains compounds that can raise blood pressure and cause potassium loss. So if you have hypertension, licorice generally should not be your friend. If you have heart disease or kidney problem, licorice needs to be avoided or used cautiously under guidance of a professional. Ginger is another interesting example. Ginger is wonderful for nausea and inflammation. It's also great for digestive support, but ginger has blood thinning properties. So if you have a bleeding disorder or you're scheduled for surgery, ginger could increase your risk of excessive bleeding. And that takes us to our third contradiction here, and that is upcoming surgeries. This is a big one that many people don't think about. Many herbs affect blood clotting, affects your blood pressure. It can interact with anesthesia. So most herbalists and surgeons recommend stopping all herbal supplements at least 2 weeks before any surgical procedure. And this includes those innocent sounding herbs like garlic, ginkgo, and even vitamin E. Fourth is medications. And this brings us to what might be the most complex and critical category, herb-drug interactions. This deserves its own conversation, so we're gonna transition to that. So here's something that surprises many people. Herbs and pharmaceutical drugs can interact with each other in powerful ways. Sometimes those interactions make medications less effective, and sometimes it can make them too effective, causing side effects or even toxicity. And sometimes they create entirely new problems. Let me explain how this works. Your liver is the processing center for most substances you consume. Whether that's medications, herbs, alcohol, or even food, the liver uses specific enzymes to break down these substances. Some herbs speed up those enzymes, causing your body to metabolize medications faster than intended. Other herbs slow down the enzymes, causing medications to build up and potentially cause toxic levels. So let's look at some specific examples because this gets real very quick. St. John's wort is probably the poster child for herb-drug interactions. This herb has been studied extensively for mild to moderate depression, and it can be effective. But here's the problem. St. John's wort is a powerful inducer of liver enzymes. It speeds up your liver's processing system. What does that mean practically? If you're taking birth control pills and you start taking St. John's wort, your body might metabolize those hormones so quickly that you're no longer protected from pregnancy. If you're on antidepressants, St. John's wort can reduce their effectiveness, or even worse, combine with them to cause a serotonin syndrome, which is potentially life-threatening. If you're on chemotherapy drugs, St. John's wort could reduce the effectiveness and potentially impact your cancer treatment outcome. This is not theoretical, friends. These are documented, serious interactions. Garlic and ginger. Here we have two beloved culinary herbs that many people take in supplement form for cardiovascular health and inflammation. Both have natural blood thinning properties. For many people, that's beneficial, but if you're already taking warfarin or aspirin or other blood thinners, adding therapeutic doses of garlic or ginger could increase your bleeding risk significantly. We're talking about potentially dangerous bleeding from minor surgery, maybe dental work, or even a spontaneous internal bleeding. Ginkgo biloba is popular for memory and cognitive support, but it also has blood thinning effects. Combined with anticoagulant medications, it can increase the risk of serious bleeding events, including hemorrhaging and stroke. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Alicia, I only use food amounts of these herbs. I'm not taking supplements, and that's an important distinction. Generally, culinary amounts of herbs, the amount you'd use in cooking, are safe even if you're on medications. It's when we move into the therapeutic or supplemental doses that interactions become concerning. It's important to note, though, that even a daily cup of tea of the same herb, that becomes a therapeutic dosage. But here's where it gets even more, it goes deep. Even gentle herbs can have interactions. Chamomile, for instance, sweet calming chamomile that we give our children for upset tummies, It can intensify the effects of sedatives and anti-anxiety medications. If you're on Xanax or Valium and you drink several cups of chamomile tea, you might find yourself unexpectedly drowsy or mentally foggy. Licorice. We touched on it a little bit and how it affects blood pressure medications, but it can also affect your diuretics. It can lower the potassium level to a dangerous level that may lead to dizziness, seizure, things like that. We need to make sure that you're working with a professional that knows your whole body, knows your whole environment, every medication you're taking, the foods you're eating, before you self-dose. Another one, echinacea, that popular immune booster. This can be problematic for people with autoimmune conditions or those taking immunosuppressant drugs after an organ transplant. Why? Because it stimulates the immune system, which is the opposite of what these immunosuppressants are trying to do. You will make your body fight itself, and that is not good. I know this might feel overwhelming. You might be thinking, is anything safe? But here's the key: knowledge is power. These interactions are manageable when you know about them. The danger comes from ignorance, not the herbs themselves. Beyond scientific medical conditions and medications, there are certain groups of people who need extra caution with herbal remedies. So let's talk about these special populations. Let's go back for a moment to pregnant and nursing mothers. I mentioned this earlier, but it's worth expanding on. Pregnancy and nursing are sacred seasons of life when a woman's body is doing extraordinary work. During these times, the standard rule should be, when in doubt, leave it out. There are some herbs that are generally considered safe during pregnancy. Red raspberry leaf in the later stages, ginger for morning sickness in small amounts in the early stages, chamomile in moderation, but many traditionally safe herbs become questionable during pregnancy. And here's the challenge. We often don't have robust research on herbal safety during pregnancy because ethically, we can't do controlled studies on a pregnant woman. However, we have traditional use over centuries, which gives us some guidance. But every woman and every pregnancy is unique. This is definitely a time to work with a knowledgeable healthcare provider or a trained herbalist who understands both herbs and pregnancy. Children. Children are not just small adults. Their organ systems are still developing. Their liver and kidney functions are different, and they metabolize substances differently. Dosing must be carefully adjusted based on age and weight. Some herbs that are perfectly safe for adults, they should be avoided for children. For example, herbs in high compounds like wormwood, or herbs with strong hormonal effects like saw palmetto. These aren't appropriate for children. The good news is there are many gentle, effective herbs that are wonderful for children. Chamomile, lemon balm, elderberry, and so many others. But again, wisdom means doing your research and working with a qualified and trained professional. Another category we have here is elderly individuals. Our senior population faces a unique challenge. Many are taking multiple medications. The average American over 65 takes 4 or more prescriptions a day. Add in over-the-counter drugs and supplements, and we're talking about serious potential for interaction. Additionally, as we age, our liver and our kidney function naturally decline, which means we don't process substances efficiently. A herb dose that was fine at age 40 might be too strong at age 70. And last, those with liver or kidney disease. Since these organs are responsible for processing both herbs and drugs, any compromise to their function means extra caution is needed. These individuals should really be working closely with a healthcare provider for any herbal protocol. The common thread through all these special populations is this: individualization matters. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to herbal medicine. What works beautifully for your friend might be completely wrong for you. So how do we put all this information into practice? How do we use herbs wisely honoring both their power and our limitations. Let me share some practical principles for faithful stewardship of herbal medicine. The first is transparency. Transparency with your healthcare providers. This is non-negotiable. You must tell your doctor, your pharmacist, your holistic practitioner, your herbalist, all of us, about every herb, every supplement, every medication, and every vitamin you're taking. And I mean everything. That innocent probiotic, that vitamin D capsule, that herbal tea you're drinking every day, they're all part of your medical picture. I hear from my clients sometimes, but my doctor doesn't believe in herbs, so there's no point in telling them. Friends, it doesn't matter if your doctor is skeptical about herbal medicine. They still need to know what you're putting in your body so you can watch, and they can watch, for interactions and make informed treatment decisions. Many drug interactions aren't caught until we have the complete picture. And here's something encouraging. More and more healthcare providers, they are becoming open to complementary approaches. They might not prescribe herbs themselves, but many are willing to work with us if you're honest and educated about what you're doing. Second, do your research. Before taking any herb, especially if you're on medications or you have a health condition, research it thoroughly. Don't just rely on the marketing claims on the bottle. Don't listen to TikTok. Most of them are paid influencers. Google ads are paid. Look for a reputable resource. Peer-reviewed studies. Herbalism, registered herbalists and their resources. The American Herbalist Guild is a very wonderful and dedicated community to doing it right and to being transparent and sharing the proper education. Medical databases, there's so many. Some excellent resources include the Natural Medicines Database. There's actually the American Botanical Council. The books by respected herbalists. I have one myself. You can find it at heritagehavens.com. When you're researching, specifically look for contraindications, drug interactions, and safety data for your particular situation. Third, start low and go slow. When beginning any new herb, start with a lower dose and observe how it responds in your body. This is especially important if you're on any medications, if you have multiple health conditions, or you fall into one of those special population categories we discussed. I tell every client that I work with, we are not going to start with the whole kitchen sink. We're going to start one at a time. We're going to see how you react, how well the outcome is, and that also helps us find root cause to the issue you're dealing with. Because certain herbs have certain properties that relate to certain conditions. So if you throw the whole kitchen sink in at once, you have no idea what actually worked for your specific body and your specific ailment. And that leads us to the fourth. Keep detailed record. Write down what herbs you're taking, what dosage it is, and how you feel. Note any changes, positive or negative. This information is invaluable for troubleshooting interactions and understanding what works for your unique body. Fifth, work with a qualified practitioner. While I'm a big advocate for people educating themselves and taking charge for their health, there's also tremendous value in working with trained professionals. Herbalists who've done extensive training understand these nuances. They can review your complete health picture, your conditions, your medications, and your goals. And together they can create protocols that are both effective and safe for you specifically. The last one is when in doubt, don't. This is wisdom. If you're unsure whether a herb is safe for you, if you can't find clear information, if something doesn't feel right, don't use it. There are almost always alternatives. No single herb is irreplaceable. Here's what I want you to understand. All of this information, it isn't meant to scare you away from herbs. God created these plants for our benefit. They're part of His provision for our health and our healing. But He also gave us minds to use, wisdom to pursue, and discernment to apply. Why stewardship? It means respecting the power in plants while acknowledging our limited knowledge. It means being humble enough to say, I don't know, and seeking guidance. It means taking the time to learn, to research, and to ask questions. That approach honors God more than blindly taking whatever someone on the internet recommends. It honors God more than assuming natural equals harmless. It honors God when we use these gifts thoughtfully, carefully, and wisely. Friends, I hope this episode has given you a framework for thinking about how herbal safety is so important. Yes, herbs are wonderful. Yes, they're part of God's provision, but they're also powerful, and power requires respect. Before we close, let me leave you with a few action steps. 1, if you're currently taking herbs and prescription medications, make a list of both and research potential interactions. Talk to your pharmacist if you need help, book a consult at Heritage Havens, or speak with your doctor. 2, schedule time with your healthcare provider. This is a deeper conversation. Review your complete supplement, all your herbs, all your medications, bring your bottles, have an honest, deep conversation. 3, if you're pregnant or you're nursing, or in one of those special population categories, work with a qualified herbalist or healthcare provider to ensure anything you're taking is appropriate for your situation. 4, commit to ongoing education. The world of herbal medicine and even the medical world, it is always and consistently evolving as we gain more research and understanding. And finally, pray for wisdom. James 1:5 tells us, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him." God wants us to use his gifts wisely, and he'll guide us when we ask. So thank you so much for joining me today on Naturally His. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who uses herbs. This information could literally save someone from a harmful interaction. And if you want to go deeper in these conversations, join us at the Biblical Herbalism Academy at heritagehavens.com. You can also find us on the school app, where we hold open discussion every Wednesday. This is a live call for you to ask questions, to have deep conversation, to go into different topics each week that break down so much information. Until next time, walk in wisdom, friends. Use what God has provided thoughtfully, carefully, and with gratitude. I'll see you in class.